This conference will now be recorded.
All right, it's Monday, October 23, 2023 at 6:30 PM. Cottage Grove Town Hall at 4058 County Road N, Cottage Grove Fire District Commission meeting. You can also join by GoToMeeting. I'll call the meeting to order. We have a quorum. Meeting was posted at the town and at the village. Discuss and consider approval of the minutes from the September 25th, 2023 meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item is public appearances. Public's opportunity to speak about any subject that is not a specific agenda item. And we don't have anybody else on. So we'll go to Chief's report.
All right, Chief's report. Still sitting at 46 people, which is 10 officers, 2 drivers, 30 firefighters, and 5 probationary. We had 265 calls plus the 2 exposures. That was on October 18th. We've had a few calls since then. This is averaging about 0.91 calls a day. If this were to continue, the estimated number of calls at the end of the year would be 332. The breakdown of calls is 55 for mutual aid, 119 for the village of Cottage Grove, 41 for Pleasant Springs, and 50 for the town of Cottage Grove. I included those 2 charts again by breaking down the calls by hours and calls by day. All the trucks had their annual maintenance done. They finished last Thursday. A few minor items. The most common one was like rust jacking on the leaf springs. So I'm waiting to get some prices to fix the issues that we have, but none of it was very significant. It was all pretty minor stuff. The fire department received its first battery operated chainsaw to help with the DNR FFP grant.
How big a one?
The 18-inch bar, I think, on it.
For metal or for wood?
Right now it's just wood, but we're waiting. Steel hasn't come out with a rescue chain yet.
Oh,
They're supposed to pretty soon. So as soon as they do, then we'll end up putting one of the rescue chains on it.
Just a chain difference then?
Yeah.
Did you say it was a grant from the DNR?
Yeah, it's a 50-50 grant. So we pay for half of it and they pay for the other half of it. So also part of that grant was some more wildland turnout gear and new wildland backpacks, spray backpacks. That grant is specifically for wildland firefighting. So the department burned down an acquired structure on Highway AB on 9/23. We practiced ventilation ladders and firefighter survival. We'll be burning down another structure in Pleasant Springs on actually this Saturday. We participated in a joint training with McFarland at the tank farm, simulating a fuel tank fire. And November will be vehicle extrication and vehicle fires.
do you have to get vehicles for the extrication?
Yeah,
Do you know where you're getting them?
Schmitz.
Did you ask Coparts?
I think he called them and he called them and called them and they never called him back. So
How many do you want?
we were gonna do 4 for extrication and 2 for car fire, so 6 total.
I'll stop and ask them if they have something to donate.
We had our annual open house on the 14th. That went pretty well, except for the weather wasn't the best, but it turned out okay. Everyone has now signed the Pleasant Springs agreement, so that's done, taken care of. And we did several hub ed events throughout Fire Prevention Week. Milestones are Mike Robb with 4 years, Josh Hammond with 16, and Justin Listica with 4. And then the group links are on the bottom. We are going to lose one individual next month. He was basically, his family gave him a free house and a bunch of land. He's just got to move up there and pay taxes on it. So he's moving out of the district. He's moving up north somewhere, but he's getting a really good deal, I guess. So can't complain like it. So so.
Anything else? Any questions on the chief's report?
Thank you, Nick.
Go to discuss and consider the security system for emergency service building again.
That's just on there as a placeholder because we're waiting for the 2 municipalities to decide what they're gonna do with their budget next year.
Yeah, I mean, we did get an email from Cameron, our finance director. I'll read some of the high points here. This body did approve adding the security system expense to the capital request post the deadline to submit items to be considered in the budget. Through future conversations with Chief Lang, we being the staff, the village staff, identified Chief Archibald should not be the point of contact for this project, as this is really a building maintenance item. Any thoughts there, Nick, about that?
I can, he's been doing it just because he's around during the day.
Right. Figured.
Most of the stuff's set up that way, but.
So and this is again internal village sausage making here. Says the new 2024 ESB funding request should be $20,000 for our annual maintenance costs and then $35,000 for our share of the cameras. It's 50%. The 2024 fire district capital request should be $19,914 for our share of the pagers. That's 66.38% of the $30,000 based on the 2023 equalized value. $449,616 for our share of the Squad 1 set to arrive in 2024. That's 64.52% of $600,996 and $863 based on 2022 equalized value. And
Why
then
would you use 22 value?
that's when it was ordered.
It's not when we get it and pay for it.
Okay, I'll talk to Cameron about that. And then $5,974.20 for our share of outfitting Squad 1, which again is at 66.38% of 9,000 based on the 2020 equalized value. So it sounds like we're going to continue to talk about this. Our budget workshop is, I'll give you the date, it's in the minutes. It is, budget workshop is Monday, November 13th. So we'll know more then about what that looks like.
We do ours on the 30th.
Of November
No,
or October 30th, sorry,
Yeah.
next Monday. Okay.
So yours is 2 weeks later.
And then he brought up a probably a lengthy conversation around the ESB repair fund. And did not recommend that we use the ESB repair fund to pay for the security system, because that's earmarked or is earmarked for the roof. But we're now at a point where that roof needs to be replaced / repaired in the next couple of years, and there aren't sufficient funds to cover that cost. From Cameron's, from his, and I'm reading direct quote here, professional recommendation would be to go away from annually contributing to a repair fund and have the town provide an annual budget of funds they need for repairs and maintenance. I think that's a separate issue, but I know it here just for the conversation. So to the question at hand around the security system, we'll know more at the budget workshop. And I will note, I'm glad that I read this because I'll note about the vehicle because it's when we take delivery, not when we order it. I forgot about that, so I'll bring that up.
You guys haven't discussed it yet, but is there any plan to take some of the Pleasant Springs funds, the capital fund, and use that towards the cost of the squad? I think right now I don't know what's in there right now. I think a little over 100,000. And next year there'll be two payments, like 130 and then 160 towards the end of the year. So is there a plan to use some of that? I know we don't want to completely deplete it for emergencies, but are you planning on using any of it towards,
I would assume,
or we're just keeping it for other items? I guess that's something you gotta decide. But that'll reduce, if you did use that, then that would reduce each of your contributions towards that. So. We could use 20%. It's still not gonna do it.
I think seeing as it's waiting on the budget workshops. I
so
think
just
we-
table it again and then we'll
Table it.
talk about it on,
Yeah.
I think our next meeting would be the 27th.
Good question.
So I'll make a motion to table this item.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion on tabling the item? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Who seconded that?
Future agenda items,
Usual.
same as what we have today. Next meeting then would be 11/27, 6:30 after landfill.
I won't be here for that.
We'll bring in the alternate.
I'll be just out of the country.
Okay.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second for adjournment. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carried. Everybody have a safe Halloween.
Make no promises.
I'm glad that I don't have to deal with that nonsense in the neighborhood anymore.
I'll just go to the station, do it, 'cause I don't want to.
I think I'm handing out full-size candy.